I'll now come to Andrew McKellar from the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. One of the issues that you have right now is wages rises. Now, the Reserve Bank's waiting to see more increases in wages and potentially will raise rates even higher. But of course, if you've got higher costs inside households, they're going to be demanding those higher wages. This in itself is almost inflationary for many families. So is it a case now where your members not only have to deal with the higher interest rates, but the higher input costs and the higher wages as well?
Look, absolutely, Ross, that's fundamentally true. And one of the things we know is occurring at the moment, and we saw some data on this from the ABS last week. We saw that 57% of businesses in the last 3 months have already experienced higher than normal increases in costs. We saw in the RBA statement today, they were pointing to the fact that, in fact, that wage increases are present in the economy, and in fact they are stronger than is showing up in the official data at the moment. So we know that the shortage of labour at the moment is feeding back into increases in wages as people change jobs, as those positions are reviewed. That is a pressure that business is already facing, and I think we can't lose sight of that fact.
And just while you're there, a quick one for you. Had the Reserve Bank come and seen you 6 months ago and talked about these input costs, talked about the labour pressures that were coming, would have you given the advice that the inflation was already in our society and maybe these rate rises should have started earlier?
I think that's very difficult, but there is no doubt. These are pressing issues, and we have been talking for some time now that business is facing two critical pressures. It's the labour market pressures, it's the supply chain disruptions. It's all about the supply side at the moment. Whether it's the Reserve Bank, whether it's the federal government, they have to be planning for how they're going to address these critical pressures on the supply side. And I think this is a message for the major parties in the election context. The next federal government has got to put in place a clear plan to address the pressure in the labour market and to help improve the capacity in our supply chains.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch exactly how they do that.